Hello, and thank you for joining us. What follows is an interview and exchange in dialogue regarding the initial impressions of an essay, a work in progress, titled, Nature and Human Nature, Exploring the Interplay of Brain Entropy and Conservation. I hope you thoroughly enjoy this conversation, as we take a journey into the mind and evolving work of the author. Therefore, let us begin. I've just read Alan Lee Nolan's essay, Nature and Human Nature, Exploring the Interplay of Brain Entropy and Conservation. It's dense but intriguing. I'd like us to discuss it, explore the ideas, and break it down into something more conversational.
Absolutely, that essay delves into some fascinating theoretical territory. It's a comprehensive exploration of how natural laws, particularly entropy and conservation, might influence the brain, human behavior, and the societies we construct. Where do you want to start?
Let's begin with the distinction Nolan draws between the mind and the brain. It seems central to his argument.
Right. Nolan approaches this distinction carefully. He acknowledges the long-standing debate about whether the mind is purely a function of the brain or something more. He focuses on the brain as a biological entity shaped by natural laws while leaving room for philosophical discussions about the mind being more than the brain's activity. He recognizes the existence of both supernatural and anti-supernatural presuppositions. However, for the purposes of his work, he sets the stage for his main exploration, understanding how entropy and conservation govern brain functions and their broader implications.
Entropy and conservation, those are physical laws. How does he connect them to the brain?
That's the crux of his argument. Nolan compares entropy, the tendency toward disorder, with conservation, the drive to maintain structure and stability. He theorizes that the brain is constantly balancing these forces. For example, entropy enables creativity and adaptability, while conservation helps maintain order and coherence. This dynamic interplay, he argues, is essential not just for individual cognition but also for shaping societal systems.
Interesting. How do you think he addresses how these principles affect societal systems directly?
He does so quite extensively. Nolan proposes that societal systems like economics, technology, and ideologies are external manifestations of the brain's internal dynamics. Just as the brain must balance entropy and conservation, so too must societies. Too much entropy and you have chaos. Too much conservation and you stagnate. He draws parallels between how individuals think and how societies evolve.
That's ambitious. What examples does he give to illustrate these ideas?
Well, he uses the evolution of the brain as an anchor. For instance, early human brains focused on survival, such as finding food, avoiding predators, and reproducing. Over time, higher cognitive functions evolved, enabling language, problem-solving, and social structures. Nolan ties this development to entropy fostering exploration and conservation preserving adaptive solutions. He extends this logic to societal progress, suggesting that balance is key.
How do you think he explains when that balance is lost?
Great question. Nolan theorizes that imbalance in entropy within the brain, whether in individuals or collectives, could disrupt societal systems. If entropy dominates, societies may become chaotic and uncoordinated. If conservation dominates, progress slows and rigid structures take hold. He even touches on the hemispheric functions of the brain, associating the left hemisphere with conservation and the right with entropy. A skew in this interplay might shape societal tendencies toward either innovation or rigidity.
That's fascinating, but isn't it quite speculative?
Nolan acknowledges that. He's clear that much of his argument is theoretical, influenced by observations and philosophical reasoning rather than definitive empirical proof. He compares his ideas to early theories like heliocentrism or continental drift, as well as Darwin's work, which began as speculative, but later gained empirical backing.
That's fair. Do you believe he sees these dynamics as fixed, or is there room for adaptability?
Adaptability is a key theme. Nolan suggests that just as the brain can reorganize itself, through the process of organic evolutionary neuroplasticity, societies can adapt too. He emphasizes the importance of diverse phenomenological experiences and environmental sensory interactions in fostering a balance between entropy and conservation. For example, a society overly insulated from change may become too rigid, while one that thrives on disorder might struggle with cohesion.
How does he handle the interplay between individual and collective behaviors?
He links individual brain dynamics to collective societal trends. Nolan suggests that the collective entropy or conservation within a society reflects the aggregated state of its individuals' brains. In a sense, the society becomes a macrocosm of individual neural tendencies. Ideologies, he argues, are products of this collective state, shaped by the brain's need for either stability or exploration.
That sounds profound, doesn't it, really? From your perspective, how does he address practical applications of his theory?
Yes, it does. However, though more philosophically than prescriptively, Nolan implies that understanding these dynamics could help us better navigate societal challenges, whether fostering innovation, addressing polarization, or creating sustainable systems. He also explores how human history, viewed as a record of aggregated brain activities, reflects the collective tension between entropy and conservation.
Do you think he draws any bold conclusions?
One of his boldest ideas is that human systems, from ideologies to technologies, are natural extensions of the brain, governed by the same physical laws. He even suggests that the laws of thermodynamics might explain both the origins and his warning of the potential dissolution of collective human nature.
That seems quite a big claim. Do you find his argument compelling?
It certainly is compelling in its ambition and interdisciplinary scope. Nolan's integration of neuroscience, physics, and philosophy offers a fresh lens on human nature. While some aspects are speculative, his willingness to explore these connections is thought-provoking and could inspire further research.
So, what was your initial impression from the reading of this essay?
Well, I was thinking that Nolan is essentially urging us to see ourselves and our societies as deeply interconnected with the natural world, subject to the same laws that govern all physical systems. By framing human behavior and societal evolution through entropy and conservation, he provides a unifying theory that challenges us to think holistically about our place in the universe.
Well, I like, and certainly understand that. It feels both humbling and empowering.
Exactly. It's a reminder that while we are shaped by the laws of nature, our ability to understand and adapt to these laws gives us unique agency. Nolan's essay is as much an exploration of our limitations as it is a celebration of our potential.
As I am further reflecting on Nolan's essay, as I have said, I cannot help but to find it is both ambitious and thought-provoking. Having said that, let us delve deeper into some of the key aspects and where the essay seems to be heading.
Absolutely. For me, this essay is remarkable for its interdisciplinary reach. Nolan weaves together neuroscience, thermodynamics, and societal theory in a way that challenges traditional boundaries. His exploration of entropy and conservation as dual forces shaping both the brain and society is particularly compelling. Where would you like to begin?
Let's start with the metaphor of the beaver's dam. It stood out as a way of tying biological processes to external systems. What's your take?
The beaver's dam is a brilliant metaphor. It elegantly demonstrates how an organism's brain-driven behaviors extend outward to shape the environment. Nolan uses it to suggest that human systems' ideologies, technologies, and cultures are like the dam, reflections of the brain's internal dynamics on a larger scale. What makes this metaphor resonate is how it ties natural instinct to the interplay of entropy and conservation. The beaver balances stability, conservation, by building the dam and manages flow, entropy, to create a functional habitat. It's a microcosm of what humans do but with greater complexity.
Exactly. The essay uses that complexity to bridge the biological and societal. Nolan's exploration of neurochemistry and the genome feels like an essential part of that bridge. What are your thoughts on his handling of these biological systems?
Nolan's focus on the genome and its evolution under the forces of entropy and conservation is fascinating. He ties genetic mutations to entropy, introducing variability and natural selection to conservation, ensuring stability over time. He extends this idea to the brain's neurochemical and electrical processes, which he describes as a thermodynamic system. The brain, as Nolan presents it, balances energy efficiency with adaptability, much like any natural system subject to the laws of thermodynamics. This framing deepens the connection between the micro-level processes of biology and the macro-level patterns of human systems.
He also touches on the distinctions between his theory and the entropic brain hypothesis. That feels like a critical piece in understanding his approach to the organic, naturally evolving influences upon the human course of creativity and adaptability.
Absolutely. The entropic brain hypothesis, although operating on a variant intellectual stream, seems to relatively support elements of Nolan's argument. He suggests that higher brain entropy allows for flexibility, creativity, and novel problem-solving, while conservation ensures coherence and stability in thought. This balance is central not only to individual cognition but also to societal dynamics. For instance, Nolan ties innovation in technology to neural entropy, while stability in societal systems reflects conservation. His work captures how these forces work in tandem across scales.
It is another stroke of ambition to neurologically connect brain dynamics to the historical scope of societal systems, but it seems grounded in a larger framework of natural laws. What do you think about his use of historical and cultural examples?
Nolan is clearly building toward integrating more historical and cultural examples to strengthen the essay. He gestures toward moments in history like the evolution of human cognition as examples of balancing entropy and conservation. Take the Renaissance, for example. It's a perfect case of creative entropy redefining cultural and intellectual landscapes, while classical knowledge provided the conservation needed for structure and stability. Nolan's theory is well suited to frame such examples, and I can see his intent to explore them further as part of the essay's evolution.
Yes, and it feels like he's aiming to make these connections vivid, particularly in how societal systems scale from brain processes. The essay suggests that societal ideologies, technologies, and even conflicts reflect aggregated neurological states.
That's a profound insight. Nolan's argument that collective entropy and conservation mirror individual brain dynamics creates a powerful framework. He suggests that ideologies arise from collective neural tendencies, the push for change, entropy, or the need for stability, conservation. It's an intriguing way to view societal trends as extensions of brain processes.
And he's not shy about speculating. What's your sense of his approach to speculation in the essay?
Nolan's speculative approach is one of the essay's strengths. He acknowledges that his ideas extend beyond current empirical evidence but positions them as a framework for further exploration. Speculation here isn't idle. It's grounded in known principles of neuroscience, thermodynamics, and human behavior. By framing human history and systems as governed by natural laws, Nolan creates a narrative that invites readers to think holistically about our place in the universe.
That's what I find so engaging. It's not just about understanding, it's about perspective. Did you find his integration of mirror neurons compelling?
Absolutely. Mirror neurons are an excellent addition, especially in connecting individual brain dynamics to collective behaviors. Nolan touches on how these neurons might underpin empathy, cultural practices, and the spread of ideas. For example, rituals and shared narratives likely activate mirror neurons, synchronizing group behavior and fostering cohesion. It's another layer that enriches his argument about the interconnectedness of individual and collective systems.
His essay feels like the beginning of something much larger. What do you think his broader vision might be?
I think Nolan is aiming to construct a unifying theory of human nature, one that ties biological, societal, and even cosmic principles together. His use of entropy and conservation as universal forces positions the essay as a stepping stone for interdisciplinary dialogue. It's not just an exploration of what we are, it's a framework for imagining what we could become. As the essay evolves, I can see it incorporating even more concrete examples, historical insights, and empirical research to solidify its foundation.
That is an inspiring vision. It reminds me of the dual message in the essay. It's humbling to see ourselves as part of a universal system, yet empowering to recognize our agency within it.
Exactly. Nolan challenges us to embrace that tension between humility and agency. His essay is as much about understanding our constraints as it is about celebrating our potential. It's a call to view humanity through the lens of interconnectedness, guided by the same natural laws that govern the stars and neurons alike. I am looking forward to his finalized work.
Well, it certainly was a pleasure sharing my thoughts with you, as well as hearing your perspectives on the essay. Thank you for joining me.
I've appreciated the opportunity. I want to thank you as well.